me then. No idea.
I've made progress with the investigation.
Wonderful. Let's hear it then.
I think it would be better if Lumir heard it too. Will you come with me?
Yes, let's go. So we get there without delay.
Well, we're here, Lumir.
How did it go?
I reckon I've found out all I can.
And do you know who the murderer is?
Not exactly, but I have a few ideas.
I've asked around a bit, and I have my own suspicions.
Is that so? See, I was trying to recall some more details, and I had someone come to mind as well.
I didn't do all this for nothing, did I?
Well,
Well? Who do you suspect now?
well, I'd say William did it. The minstrel.
You can't be serious. He's innocent.
Uh-huh. And who do you think it was?
Prokop. I'm sure of it.
No. Really? That's impossible. It couldn't have been him.
So I see we disagree. Too bad. We could have been done with it quickly.
Well, who do you think it was then?
I'm not entirely sure. First, I'll tell you what I found out, and then it might be easier for us.
Go on then. Starting with who?
Let's talk about Yarka, the one raised by Father Prokop.
What did you learn about her?
Prokop didn't just raise her out of the goodness of his heart. He was actually her uncle.
Really? But he still could have killed her.
His own relative?
Why not? He's a priest. I'm sure he knows the story of Cain and Abel.
Prokop also admitted that he didn't know how to handle her, and perhaps he was too strict.
What do you expect from a Bible thumper? Man punishes and God forgives. It never occurs to them that if man didn't punish, God wouldn't have to forgive.
Well, maybe I wouldn't hold it against him. He really tried to make sure she was well taken care of. He wanted to find her a husband, too.
And did you learn who he found?
No. I think it fell apart when Yarka started rebelling. Yarka started working for the von Grolla family, where she remained until her death.
I was there to ask whether she'd given them any trouble, but they said she was always thorough and reliable.
Ah, so what's the story with von Grolls?
A very wealthy and important family. The mother is quite devout, known to spend a lot of time in prayer. Old von Grolla's been sick for years. Can't even get out of bed.
So, who runs affairs?
That would be young Hendel. They say he's quite successful.
Before her death, I heard she often went to dances.
There's nothing wrong or surprising about that. But maybe she found someone there.
Maybe. Prokop was convinced that she went to see William. That was actually the only name he mentioned.
That doesn't mean anything.
It means she had some relationship with William, or at least knew him.
And now, most importantly, Yarka was pregnant when they killed her.
I didn't know that. Do you know for sure? So they gutted her.
To make it impossible to tell she was pregnant? I wouldn't be surprised.
May God forgive us.
Do you know who she was pregnant with? Because if we know who the father is, we'll likely know who the killer is.
She didn't tell Prokop.
It had to be someone from those dances. Maybe William.
Prokop is convinced that she was murdered by that bard, William.
And I agree with him. I heard the daughters of important men come to see him. It even went so far he had to flee the city. And the moment he's back, there's another murder.
Really? But I found out you accused Prokop first, Lumir.
What? Why?
It doesn't matter. It was a mistake, and I paid for it.
And were you as sure then as you are now about William?
I don't think so. But he's a skirt chaser. If he got Yarka pregnant, then...
Perhaps. But why would he kill and mutilate her? He could have just run away.
But then he could never come back.
Why not? He could come back a year later, once things have died down, the child would be born, the shame forgotten, and nobody would bring it up again.
I suppose that makes sense. That's all I was able to find out.
You still found out more than I did.
But it's not enough. We still don't know who the killer is.
But we can agree that she was killed because of her pregnancy, can't we?
Agreed. Somebody got rid of her to make sure nobody found out she was pregnant.
I'm sure William wanted...
William isn't the only man with a prick. And he certainly didn't use it to strangle her to death.
Such language. What are you trying to say?
That William isn't the only man in the city. It could have been anyone. And now we'll never find out.
I'm not saying it couldn't have been him, though I don't think it was. It just seems foolish to only focus on him.
I suppose you're right. Let's forget it.
I managed to find Stanya.
Alive? You found her alive?
I did. Alive and well. Hiding with the charcoal burners.
So, she's not one of our victims?
She is. She just managed to escape the killer. She said she was attacked on her way home from the baths. She heard somebody talking in a side street, but it was empty. But when she walked by, someone grabbed her by the throat and started strangling her.
And how did she manage to get away?
She was holding an empty pitcher, and she smashed the killer in the face with it. He either got startled or hurt, but he let her go.
Did she get a look at him? Did she take his eye out or something?
No, she didn't stop to find out. Just ran. Which is probably why she survived.
And what about the blood in the bedroom?
She cut her hand on the broken pitcher. She didn't stay in her room for long. She was still so scared that she grabbed her things and ran off to her beloved charcoal burner. She said she returned from the baths in the evening regularly, and somebody knew exactly which way she would take and where to wait for her.
You mean someone followed her beforehand to figure out where to ambush her?
Who knew that she went to the baths?
Apparently everyone in the tavern. She didn't hide the fact. She also said she was sure it wasn't Mole. He may be a pig, but the evening she ran home, he was in bed snoring. According to Stanya, the murderer had a terribly strong grip. Her neck was bruised for almost a month.
Doesn't almost every man have a strong grip?
Depending on what they take in hand every day. A tankard, a quill, or a hammer.
Except none of our suspects are miners or blacksmiths, eh? According to Stanya, the murderer didn't say a word the entire time.
That's strange, right? I'd expect him to at least call her a whore.
The only word he uttered was when she smashed him in the face with the pitcher. He said Scheisse.
So, we're looking for a German?
Even I say Scheiße sometimes, and I'm not German.
Besides that, she also recalled hearing two voices in the alley. Someone was talking to the killer.
So we have a witness. Now, just to find him.
Or an accomplice. If I remember correctly, the other one must have seen the whole thing, right? And he didn't go to report it.
I asked Stanya if she knew Prokop. She said no.
Maybe she just doesn't remember him. Or he gave a different name, or...
I don't think Father Prokop is the type to frequent the worst tavern in Kuttenberg.
Stanya admitted that she knows William. He flirted with her and tried to get to know her better, but nothing came of it.
And that's probably why I wanted to kill her. And likely rape her before that.
Well, perhaps, but Stanya doesn't think so. She's sure it wasn't William, and no matter what they say about him, in her eyes he's a good lad. And that's all that Stanya told me.
I'm so glad that girl is alive.
Me too. At least someone's had a little luck. Does she want to come back, or will she stay with the charcoal burners?
I don't think she'll come back. She's so scared now they'll come back for her, she doesn't even leave the house. I managed to find Zdena.
You found her? Is she alive too?
No. Unfortunately, she's dead.
And where did you find her?
Pretty far away. Near the mill she used to sell things at. Someone caught her in the forest when she was coming home with a load of coin and killed her. I reckon she put up a hell of a fight. So the killer got nervous and ended things quickly.
So he didn't strangle or mutilate her?
She'd been lying in the woods for a long time, so I couldn't really tell. But he definitely didn't hack her up like the others. Judging by what her accomplice said, she robbed someone good. She had so much jewelry on her, she could hardly carry it. And what's odd is when she was murdered, the killer left her basket of valuables behind.
So I reckon he didn't kill her for the money.
Father Prokop came looking for Zdena and nearly cursed her on the spot.
What did he have in common with a thief?
He had also looked after her. But unlike Yarka, she ended up on the street, and he took it badly. Zdena tried to rob young von Grolle. It's possible she succeeded.
Von Grolle? Yarka worked for them, didn't she?
Ah, that whole family is suspicious.
Assumptions. Nothing more.
I'd say it's pretty obvious. Why else would I have found that ring on her?
They just left the ring by her body. That's odd, isn't it?
It wasn't by her body. It was inside of it. I don't know if she swallowed it herself or someone shoved it in her.
Ah, that's awful. But I can't say it surprises me.
My mouth is starting to hurt from all this blabbering.
So are my ears and head.
Come now, we're nearly there. We just need to find our suspect. So, Henry, who do you think did it?
I suspect one of the Von Grollers.
What leads you to think that?
Are you sure it wasn't William?
Yorka was their maidservant until she started rebelling, right?
Yes. Do you think she was rebelling because of someone in particular?
Perhaps the young lord?
That's possible.
Alice had a young and wealthy suitor. And young Von Groller fits both descriptions.
True, true.
We could be getting somewhere.
Yorka was pregnant. And if the father was young Von Groller, it would make sense if he got rid of her.
Sakura, you're right.
But William could have fucked her too. Just saying.
Zdena robbed Von Grolle.
That's true.
It's all coming together, isn't it?
And that's all I can pin on him.
So, do we agree that it was young Von Groll?
Well, old Von Groller can't do much now, can he?
So do we really agree that our most likely suspect is young Von Groller?
Aye. I agree.
I don't have a problem with it. Little rich boys are capable of anything. But what are we gonna do about it? Our suspicions aren't enough.
They'll just laugh at us without something more tangible.
So, you want to search their house?
There's nothing else we can do. There must be a clever way to do it.
We have to find some evidence. None of our conjecture is enough. What will we do?
You could sneak in there.
Or break in?
Catherine, that's not necessary. The young lad wants to learn swordsmanship, and the old one is sick and always calling for a physician.
So I can either pretend to be a sawbones or a swordsman, or break in? That's a lot of options.
You're a clever lad. You'll figure it out. God, where's this day gone?
That's hair. All kinds of brown. I bet it belonged to those dead girls. If this isn't proof, nothing is.
Here we are. Good. There, it looks better already. What now?
I need to talk to you about that visit to the Von Grollers.
All right, let's go quickly to Lemire.
I think we were right. Something seriously fishy there.
Well, don't keep us in suspense. What did you find out?
You found something there, didn't you? Evidence?
I certainly did. In the young lord's room.
What was it?
This. He had it in a chest in his room. Locks of hair. All brown, but all a bit different. They're definitely from those murdered girls.
Hair? But that's not enough. That definitely won't suffice as proof.
Why wouldn't it? He took them as a keepsake from the dead girls, as a trophy. It was him!
But nobody will believe us. We need more than just hair. A bloody dress or the murder weapon.
And to be honest, I don't think we're going to find anything like that. They're pretty careful to cover their tracks.
Damn it. We're fucked. If we at least had a witness.
And what about 3 witnesses at once?
Where are you going to find 3 witnesses when you don't even have one?
I don't yet, but... Look, we're almost certain young Hendel did it. So what if we set a trap and catch him in the act?
And how do you want to do that? I mean, we don't know who he's planning to murder next.
We'll set someone up. Some brunette.
You want to sacrifice some poor girl?
No, nobody's going to get hurt. We'll be keeping our eye on her the whole time.
The only one I can think of is Stanya. And I highly doubt that she'd want to risk her life again.
She won't have to. I'll do it.
But you haven't had anything to do with him. He'll see through it immediately. It'll fail.
We'll wait until the lad's out of the house. Maybe we'll dress Catherine up a bit, and she'll go asking for the young lord, father of her child. When Hendel comes home and hears what happened, he'll come looking for her to fix things up.
I'll cause such a scene, they'll be talking about it for years. Then we'll tell them where he can find me, and we've got him.
If you say so. But where can we do it? We can't do it here. They'd figure it out pretty quick.
We can use one of the rooms here in the tavern. It has only one way out. You'll be hiding across the way, and jump out at the right moment. I repeat, at the right moment.
Don't worry, we won't take our eyes off you.
Where's Hendel? I need to talk to him! Do you hear me? I have to talk to him about our wedding. I won't be left alone with his child.
What are you screeching about, you ninny? There's no Hendel here. Certainly not for the likes of you.
Do you hear that, folks? He fucks me from all sides. Gets me with child, and now he doesn't want to know me. Get rid of her. Disgrace. Oh, so a poor woman has to suffer because of a man's lust. As if it wasn't already bad enough before.
What lies are you spouting, you strumpet? Goodman Hendel never laid eyes on you. Besides, you're too old for him. Nobody will believe your lies.
Old am I? He came to me himself because he wanted a mature woman to breed with. And he never even pulled it out. And he filled me up like a wineskin! Suit yourself. I'll give you some time to think it over. But either you come up with an offer of marriage by evening, or first thing in the morning I'll go to the bailiff. And I'll be damn sure to get justice from him. It's open.
I've come to talk with you.
Where's Hendel?
Hendel, you wanton whore! Debauching my son! A nanny goat like you! The others were at least young, but you! Christ, the trials I have to endure! A husband with both feet in the grave and a son who'll fuck anything with a hole in it. Slice her up so no one will recognize her, and in case what she says is true, gut her too.
Gutting, is it? I can help you with that.
Get that bitch, you fool!
Show your stuff! Ha! Ah!
Before I finish you off, I have to ask, why the fuck did you kill them?
I'll tell you, but you aren't going to like it,
I'm listening.
because it's the right thing to do.
What's right about murder?
All those whores had it coming.
You know that's not true. Stanya hardly knew Hendel, and you still tried to kill her. How many of the others had the same story?
Rubbish. I saw it with my own two eyes, and not just me. He might have met the alehouse wench by chance, but they were intimate together. The mistress was convinced they were meeting in the evenings.
Well, she might have been convinced, but that doesn't mean she was right. That girl had a sweetheart.
That's even worse. He surely wasn't a rich and important person like Master Hendel, and she would even cheat on our master with him? Disgusting.
Confess, then. How many of them did you kill altogether?
Not enough! There's always more who deserve it. They climb out of their holes like rats and infect respectable families. Just like that companion of yours. She certainly sins as much as she breathes, the lured whore.
Oh, you're completely mad. My God.
Don't take the Lord's name in vain. It's a deadly sin.
Then I suppose we'll be meeting in hell one day. It was all Mandalina's idea, wasn't it? She wanted them killed.
And can you blame her? That first harlot was already itching to become Mistress von Grole. That bastard of hers wasn't Hendel's anyway, but he was stupid that time. He'd have believed her. Now he knows very well, luckily, that they're all whores. He doesn't cry for them anymore.
And Mandalina just came to you like that, out of the blue. And you immediately obeyed her.
Well, one time she came to my chambers and she told me she knew very well that Yarka rejected me and that she'd started an affair with Master Hendel, while she was also spreading her legs for others in the evenings. And that she had to be punished before she brought misfortune on someone. And...
Go on. I'm listening.
that she deserved to die for all her sins. And she was right.
Close your eyes. It'll soon be over.
Gonna die.
Catherine, we have to take her to the bailiff. We can't just kill her.
Why not? She deserves it, and it'll save a lot of trouble.
Release me! How dare you?
Catherine, wait!
What should I wait for? I'm gonna cut that bitch's throat.
How dare you? Hands off, you heretical scum!
Shut up.
Let her speak. I still don't understand what actually went on here. I have some questions for you.
I'll tell you nothing, you serpent! Nothing! You can't keep me here! Let me go! I'm a woman of worth!
If you won't speak now, then the executioner will loosen your tongue when your feet stop burning. But why wait, right? I'll cut your ear off. Maybe both of them. All you need to talk is a tongue.
No! Let me go!
Why did you do it, for Christ's sake?
Don't blaspheme, you heathen.
Come on, answer him or it's gonna hurt.
My husband, he drank a lot, ran around with whores and didn't pray enough. And God punished him for it. I couldn't allow the same thing to happen to Hendel.
And why kill those girls? Why not just talk to him about it?
I tried, but he wouldn't listen to me. He told me he wanted to sow his wild oats before finding a wife.
So your own son didn't listen to you? And you started killing the girls
Who seduced him and emboldened him with their brazenness? If they wanted to whore themselves out, they'll pay for it in hell. But there's no way they were going to drag my Hendel there with them.
And what about Hendel? Did he know what you were doing?
That I was taking care of his immortal soul and eliminating his temptation? Of course not. But one day he'll be grateful to me for it.
He's going to jump for joy. His mother a mad woman, and his servant a murderer.
Speak politely to me, you whore.
Henry, if you have any more questions, you'd better ask them quickly. I'm sorely tempted to finish this here and now.
And what about the hair in Hendel's chest? You're trying to tell me he wasn't involved, but he was keeping their hair?
Well, he kept asking about those whores of his. So we always brought him a lock of hair. We told him it was from them, as a parting gift.
Well, he didn't find that strange?
Out of sight, out of mind. He always found some new harlot anyway.
There was no blood where Alice was found. Where did you kill them?
That was up to Thaddeus. He told me something about an abandoned barn. I only told him to cut them up thoroughly.
Why?
Why? As a warning. So those whores knew what awaited them. To put the fear of God in them.
Do you realize you also killed girls who had nothing to do with Hendel?
That's not possible. I saw them all with my own two eyes, chatting with him and giggling.
And what about that alehouse wench?
That strumpet. I saw how she treated him. It's a damned shame she got away.
But she really had nothing to do with Hendel.
She wouldn't have smiled at him the way she did if she didn't want to fornicate with him. They all deserved it. Every single one. And better sooner than later. That trollop in our service even got herself with child. And she wanted to keep it. The slut.
And what about Zdenna? All she did was rob him, and you killed her anyway.
She fawned over him like all the others. He even gave her a ring, which she probably sold immediately. She deserved it. She was a thief, and stealing is a mortal sin.
I'd better stop asking questions.
Burn in hell, all of you.
What'll we do with her now?
Let's take her to the bailiff. She'll get justice there.
We don't have to go anywhere. I'll give her justice right here, right now.
But we can't do that. She has to go before the court. The law must be upheld.
Did you hear her? I mean, she hasn't got her head on straight. And what judgment will there be? She's from a wealthy family. Nothing will happen to her.
Don't you dare judge me. Only God can do that.
Shut your mouth, you sow. You judged and punished some random girls, and now you'll blaspheme like that?
Our Lord directed me. I did it through His will.
Do you hear that? And you want to let her live?
But that's not justice. It's murder. Henry, won't you say something?
I told you, don't you dare judge me. I am a servant of God.
Lumiere, listen to her. If we don't deal with her ourselves, and then they let her go, then... Do you want to have that on your conscience?
I mean, how could I live with myself if we kill her in cold blood?
I'll show you justice. You're all going to end up in hell.
Your conscience will remain clear. You won't be the one killing her.
But still, if we don't punish her according to the law, then we ourselves deserve to be punished by the law.
We aren't the ones walking around the city killing random women. On the contrary, we're making sure no more will die.
All those whores. Hell! Lucifer everywhere! Fire and brimstone!
It's just not right.
It isn't right, but it's necessary.
All right, all right. Do it then. But I wash my hands of it.
No! Don't you dare! You hellspawn! No!
Well, now, someone has to explain everything.
Not me. I'd rather just get out of here.
I'll go. I'll explain everything. And you, Henry, wait for me at home, all right?
Fine. I'll wait at yours.
Good, good. I hope I don't end up in total disgrace.
Well, this was a lot stranger than I expected. Do you think we did the right thing?
I'm not sure of anything anymore. Not even myself. Can we just be quiet for a while?
As you wish. But still, it was damned odd.
Aye, that it was. Let's go and see Lumiere. I wonder how he fared.
Tell us, Lumiere. How did it turn out?
Did it end well? Oh, we're not going to get into trouble now, are we?
It ended well, and I didn't even tell anyone about you.
I'm surprised you got away with it, bringing them two corpses.
I would have preferred a different ending, but... fuck. What happened, happened.
Lumiere, don't be angry anymore.
I'm not angry anymore. And I must admit that maybe it was better this way. If they were still alive, there'd be a lot more squabbling. But... like this.
The dead approve in silence.
Precisely. I just told them I spread the word that one victim survived and where she was hiding. And I waited for them there. And when they came to kill her, we had no choice but to end it that way.
And what will you do now? Will you go back to the town hall, Lumiere?
It's true I've made amends in the eyes of the law, but I probably won't go back now. Maybe better to write something about it. Who knows?
Won't you go back to drinking?
No, it didn't help anything, did it? If I had just persevered instead, I should have pitied those girls, and not myself.
Don't fret. It was a terrible mess, and all three of us had to put our heads together.
Yes. You helped me when I was in need, and didn't even know it. Maybe I'll just keep helping as long as I can.
Helping others is the best thing a person can do in this world.
And what will you do, Catherine? Will you stay here?
My work isn't done yet. I have to work in the tavern here, and then we'll see. Maybe I'll find work elsewhere.
Do you think we could have done better?
Everything can always be done better. But most important is to do it well and quickly.
Catherine is right. I'll still be kicking myself. Maybe to my dying day. But none of us did anything bad.
That's not entirely true.
I'm talking about innocent people. No more girls died because of you. And that's good.
Well, let's go our separate ways.
Thank you, lad. You prevented future murders. And you also saved me. And for that, I will be eternally grateful.
I thank you both. Without you, the devil knows how it would have turned out.
Here you are, as a keepsake. And perhaps as a reward. And if you ever pass by, look us up.
Yes, Here is a reward, Henry. And Lumiere, we shall certainly meet again.
I have not changed my answer. I will not sell you the rights to my mines. Not today, not tomorrow, nor in 100 years. You will not get your hands on my silver.
You forget I have influential friends. If you won't sell the mines, you'll lose them. Just like Malishov. Along with your life, if you defy me.
Mind your step. Two can play that game. Did you really think that I didn't know you were stealing the royal silver, eh? When your self-proclaimed king finds that out, your head will be on the chopping block.
Seize that traitor!
Not another step.
You'll get yours too, turtle dove. What are you waiting for? Can't you see? They're threatening the Royal Mint Master!
He's one of them! Get him!
That was some...
I'll kill you for... Show what you're made of.
Yeah! Blood! Yeah!
Oh, no match for us, fucker. We'll kick your asses.
You can't stand up to this!
Go fuck yourself.
Hey, that one's had it!
You got him.
Yeah! Don't! Damn. They gave me a going over. Good thing you showed up, lad.
You alright, sir? Looks like you took some hits.
It's just a scratch.
Papa, my God, you're hurt.
I'm all right. What the hell was that, Rosa?
I saved your life. Didn't you notice?
We would have been in the right if you hadn't taken the shot. Now we have the blood of the king's men on our hands. Do you have any idea what this means?
Was I supposed to let one of Sigismund's lackeys insult us in our own home?
And you thought this was a better solution?
You know what? Let's just leave it be. I don't want to argue in front of the young man here. Apologies for the mess, stranger. There aren't usually so many corpses strewn about our courtyard.
I should be the one apologising. Some of it is my handiwork.
It won't be your concern, though. I promise. We'll call the guards and tell them what happened. That Ulrich Vavak and his men attacked us for no reason.
You think that will make them let us off the hook?
Not for free. But knowing young Plymouth, the commander of the guard, I'm sure he won't refuse my coin. But back to you, lad. Who are you? Why have you graced us with your visit?
I'm Henry of Scales, squire to Lord Capon of Perkstein.
Pleased to meet you. Conslin Routard. And this feisty creature here is my daughter Rosa.
Like father, like daughter.
Why did your master send you to me, Henry?
He didn't, sir. Unfortunately, he's in enemy captivity.
We're sorry to hear that.
But I plan to rescue him. And I believe you can help me with that.
We can? How?
Lord Capon is held at Malashov.
Our Malashov? I don't envy him. I was planning on fixing the roof before they took it from us. It's full of leaks. I doubt its new master will lift a finger to do anything about it. But tell me, why would I meddle in matters that don't concern me?
Well, we all stand on the same side. Against Sigismund.
That is undoubtedly true. I don't like that ginger bastard either. Especially since his people started sticking their fingers in my coffers. But to get involved in something as dangerous as freeing a captured nobleman in a territory conquered by Sigismund?
We have to do something to help. I know it's dangerous.
Dangerous? It's madness. What if somebody finds out?
Nobody will know.
You haven't been in Kuttenberg for long, have you? The walls have ears here. I'd only end up with my head on the chopping block. And I don't even want to think about what they'd do to Rosa.
That's true. As long as Vavak's breathing down our necks, we have to be careful.
Who is he, anyway?
Ulrich Vavak von Neuhaus. The new mint master appointed by Sigismund himself. He's had it in for us ever since he took over the office. He's been pressuring me to hand over my mining rights. It seems he'd like to see me reduced to a beggar. And now we've killed his men. The king's men. I'll have to reach deep into my pocket to get out of that. Like Rosa said, lad. As long as Vavak is around, my hands are tied. I'm sorry.
Then let's get rid of Vavak. He must have some weakness, right?
There may be one. It's obvious Vavak is getting richer than his office warrants. There are rumors going around that he's stealing the king's silver. He even uses it to mint counterfeit groschen, using a fake dye. If Sigismund were to find out, he'd have him executed at once, regardless of his noble blood.
Ah, I see. You want to blackmail Vavak?
It certainly wouldn't hurt to have something on him that would put him in his place for good. Some kind of evidence.
But how do we find it?
Some of the silver goes missing somewhere along the way to the mint. And we have to find out where.
Find out? But how? They don't let just anyone into the mines and smelting works.
You're right. Only authorized people are allowed in. Fortunately, we have an ally. My friend Peter of Pisek. They ousted him from the mint master's office, but his brother Christian remained in the Italian court. He wanted to become the mint master himself, but because of Vavak, he had to settle for the steward's office. He hates him even more than we do on account of it.
And that's saying something.
Christian and I were just talking about his suspicions. He'd welcome any dirt you can dig up on Vavak, just as much as I would. If you go to him and ask for help on my behalf, I'm sure he'll accommodate you. I'll help you free Lord Capon in exchange for evidence of Vavak's fraud. That's fair, isn't it?
All right. It's a deal. I've already met Peter of Pisek, and I know he can be trusted. Let's hope the same goes for his brother.
Excellent. You'll find Christian and Horshan at the estate near the mines. Tell him the password, Via Argentum, the pot of silver. He'll know who he's dealing with. But be careful, both of you. This is our last chance to stop Vavak.
We'll be praying for you.
Come here.
God be with you. Keep the peace, and we'll stay friends.
God be with you.
Oh, well. What a nice day. Stranger, what are you doing here?
You're a Christian of Pisek?
I am. What do you need?
Kunzlin Ruthard sent me. About Via Argentum.
I see. But I'm afraid I don't have good news for Sir Kunzling. I haven't made much progress regarding the matter we discussed. I just don't have the time to investigate. I'm always needed somewhere, and there's always someone following me around.
Have you found out anything at all?
Just rumors. And those are useless. What's your name?
Henry.
All right. Listen up, Henry. Nobody can know I'm looking into it. It's a very dangerous game. If Sir Kunzling trusts you, you could help me in my investigation.
Well, that's actually why I'm here.
Excellent. Excellent. You don't happen to come from a family of miners or smelters, do you?
My father was a blacksmith.
It's a fine craft. But it won't teach you much about silver mining and processing. I'll be happy to tell you everything you need to know. Now, follow me, please. We need to talk somewhere in private.
Where should I start looking?
Straight to the point. I like that. We know for a fact the silver must be getting lost somewhere on its way to the mint. That means it would be best to discreetly inspect all operations and find out where the problem is. First of all, you should ask miners from every shift how many corves they mine in a day. After that, we'll compare the numbers to the mine record books and see.
But the yields aren't the same every day, right?
True. That's why we have to focus on one particular day. For example, the other day, on the Feast of St. Petronilla, Foreman Fett was beaming and bragging to me about how much it helped. Mined out.
Couldn't I just ask Fett?
Fett's job is to count the corves and write the amount down in the mine book. He won't tell you any other number. We're interested in what the miners themselves have to say. They've no reason to hide anything. Nevertheless, the miners are a strange bunch. They might not be very forthcoming at first, and they have an odd way of speaking. Like calling each other Sonny, however old they are. But you'll hear for yourself. You should pretend to be really interested in them, and maybe they'll open up to you. You could be a scholar writing a treatise on silver mining, or perhaps a nobleman interested in buying a mine. Or just say I'm your distant uncle who's initiating you into the ins and outs of my job. It's up to you.
I reckon I could pose as a curious scholar.
Suit yourself. Just don't change your story so you don't arouse suspicion. But to the point, each day 3 shifts work in the shaft. Each has its foreman, or gaffer, as they say. The first shift is led by Frank, the second by Paul, and the third by Samko. You'll have to ask each one of them how many corves they mined. Samko's hewers should be off work now. You'll find the other 2 shifts in the mine. Take this, so the guards will let you in. It's a letter of safe conduct bearing my seal, allowing you free movement within the mine.
And what are you going to do?
I'll return to the estate to do my job. What else? I reckon they must be wondering where I am by now. Once you find out how many corves the 3 shifts mined on the Feast of St. Petronilla, return to me. We'll compare that number to the entry in the mine book. And don't forget, don't draw attention.
By the way, I've had the honor of meeting your brother, Peter.
Well, well. Small world.
He was a great help to us at Suchdol.
Even though we had some disagreements, I respect him for everything he succeeded in doing. If it weren't for him, I'd never have been able to do what I do.
Are you Foreman Samko?
Aye, I am. Who's asking?
My name is Henry. Stuart Christian sent me to you. I'm a student from Prague, and I'm writing a treatise on miners and mine operations.
Why should I care? Didn't you see we're off graft?
Sir Christian told me to ask about anything that interests me, and that you'll tell me.
Ah, Sonny, I'm so tired. I haven't even got the strength for gabbing. I wouldn't mind having a game of dice, but miners' rules. Then I'll tell you everything. What'd you say?
You should obey Sir Christian and just tell me what I want to know. You don't want him coming to you when you're off work to tell you off.
That I don't, kidder. Ask away, then.
What is the work of a miner about?
Aye, that's a good question, Mara. Mostly about Alkin.
Any yakker'll tell you that, but proper rest is even more important than graft. You're as weak as a midgie without it.
So how do you rest?
Depends. Some have a kip, some a swarry, some go whoring. As for me, I play dice.
How many corves did you mine on, say, the Feast of St. Petronilla?
I can tell you exactly. All the yakkers were working, and we were getting along nicely. We managed to hawk 34 corves, without skimping on hame time. First time in ages, that was.
That's all I need to know.
I hope I helped.
Foreman Frank?
What you looking for, sonny? Can't you see we're hewing?
Sir Christian of Pisek sent me. I'm a student at the university in Prague. Henry. I'm writing a treatise on silver mining.
I didn't know you scribblers were interested in us ordinary yakkers, but you can't just amble around. You'll count your creels.
I just have a few questions.
The more we gab, the less we gar. But make it snappy, man. What do you want to know, like?
How exactly do you mine ore?
Bloody hell. Have you never seen a yakker graft, did ya? You take a kevel and ding away at the rock till it crumbles. And if you keep ganning at it for a couple of years, and don't croak from the stithe, then you'll keel over from exhaustion, or get scrushed by the ceiling of the road you're hewing.
How do you get the ore outside?
Same way it's hewed, in the dart and in coves. On top of that, you spend a lot of the bloody time on all fours. Once you get out by with the corf, you get a tally, and you can get back in by.
I wonder, how much do you mine in a day?
That depends on how much ore you howk out of this or that face. It varies.
How much did you mine, say, on the Feast of St. Petronilla?
Listen, kidder. Aren't you a bit too curious? Why do you need to know that for? Them numbers won't be useful to nobody.
I really need to know it for my work. My treatise won't be complete without it. Est rerum omnium magister usus. Experience is the best teacher. And you have that experience.
Aye, well, a clever head but a gawk-handed, eh? All right, I'll tell you. It was a good gar on the Feast of St. Petronilla. Our yakkers hewed 36 corves.
Thanks.
See you soon, my friend.
Are you Foreman Paul?
Hey! You walk like a ghost, kidder. You gave me a bit of a fright there. Hold on. I don't know ye. Who are you? And what are you doing so deep in the pit?
My name's Henry. Sir Christian sent me. I'm a student at the university in Prague, and I'm writing a thesis on the life and lot of miners. Are you praying? Why?
The day before the Feast of St. Petronilla, a kidder was hawking here. Young jaybird, a young'un, still wet behind the ears. We dinged the berg, set it ablaze, all good. He took a mell, battered the fault, and the props spangued out. It all came crashing down on him. Done him right in, it did.
That's awful. Sorry about your friend.
He weren't just me marrow. He were my blood. I raised him from a nipper since my sister died. He kept begging me to take him on a shift, saying he was strong as a horse. Wouldn't have taken her like. And now, I can't forgive myself.
Come on, it wasn't your fault. Accidents happen. It's God's will.
I suppose you're right. Will you pray with me for his soul one last time?
Aye. I'll pray with you.
You're a canny lad. Repeat after me. Almighty and merciful God, our Father, you are the giver of gold, silver, bronze, copper, tin,
Almighty and
iron,
merciful God,
and all
our Father,
ores and metals.
you are the giver
I ask
of
that
gold,
you bless my brother who has
silver,
died in this
bronze,
mine.
copper,
And may
tin,
your holy angels save
iron,
his soul from
and
damnation.
all ores and
Bring
metals.
his soul to
I ask
eternal
that you
glory
bless my
through our
brother
Lord,
who has
our
died in
Saviour
this
and
mine.
Redeemer, Jesus
May your
Christ.
holy angels save
Amen.
his soul from
The angel
damnation.
of the Lord declared
Bring
unto
his
Mary,
soul to
and
eternal
she
glory
conceived the Holy
through our
Spirit.
Lord,
Hail
our
Mary.
Saviour and
And
Redeemer,
Mary said,
Jesus
Behold,
Christ.
I am the handmaid of the
Amen.
Lord. Be it done unto me according to thy word. Hail Mary. And the Word was made flesh, and dwelt among us. Hail Mary. Pray for us, O Holy Mother of God, that we may be made worthy of the promises of Christ.
Are you going to answer me now?
Aye. Thanks for praying with me. Ask about out.
What is the work of a miner about?
What it's about? It's about hewing the face and hauling the ore to the bank in coves. Over and over again. Proper graft, that. Can be real dodgy, mind. Might even do you in.
How much do you make doing this?
Depends on how much we hawk. How hard the rock is, how much ore's in it. It's not really worth it, though. Half a grosh and a corf isn't much of a fight.
So how many corves did you mine, say, on the Feast of St. Petronilla?
That weren't a good day. Nobody was in the mood for ganning on after what happened to Jaybird. But even so, we managed to hawk 30 corves.
Are deaths in the mine common?
Aye, but every death in the shaft is a waste. Whether it's in a crumple or black damp. Unfortunately, we still bury a yakker or two a month, you know. That's life, like.
That's all I need to know.
If you say so, Mara.